Sai Ram. Welcome to Science class, Secondary Science, NIOS, chapter name Diversity in Living Organisms. In today's class, we are going to study part 3, that is Kingdom Animalia. Before going to the Kingdom Animalia, let us recall what we have studied in the previous class. The subdivisions of Kingdom Plantae are Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Thallophyta. Plant body does not have root, stem and leaves. Bryophyta. Plant body has a stem and leaf-like structures. Pteridophyta. Plant body is differentiated into root, stem and leaf. And these three groups come under cryptogams. Gymnosperms. Plants with naked seeds. Angiosperms. All flowering plants and the seeds are enclosed in a fruit. And these two groups comes under phanerogams. Angiosperms are of two types, that is monocots and dicot. Monocot seeds contain single cotyledon and dicot seeds contain two cotyledons. In the last class, I have given you some questions as home assignment. Now check the answers for those questions. First question is, name the subdivisions of plant kingdom. The subdivisions of Kingdom Plantae are Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Second question, differentiate between Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Under Gymnosperms, plants bear naked seeds. Under Angiosperms, seeds are enclosed in a fruit. Again in Gymnosperms, these are non-flowering plants and Angiosperms are flowering plants. Example, in Gymnosperms, Pinus, Cycas and in Angiosperms, maize and green gram. Third question, write the characteristics of amphibians of plant kingdom. Which group is called as amphibians of plant kingdom? Already you know about that. That is bryophytes. Bryophytes are called amphibians of plant kingdom and the characteristics are plant body is differentiated into stem and leaf-like structure, not the true leaves. And next, no specialized tissue for conduction of water. Next, we will move on to the Kingdom Animalia. In Kingdom Animalia, animals are eukaryotic, multicellular and heterotrophic. Based on these characteristics, we will study all the different subdivisions of Kingdom Animalia. And cells do not have cell wall and they exhibit different levels of organization like cell, tissue, organ and organ system. Most animals show locomotion and these are again classified based on the differences in body design and body type. Before we proceed, all the characteristics of Kingdom Animalia, first we have to learn about these three important concepts. Those three important concepts are germ layers, body cavity and the third is body symmetry. Let us learn what is this germ layers. These are the primary layers of cells that are formed during embryo development. I will explain this, how these are going to be formed in the next slide. All the other tissues of an organism develops from this. Animals have either 2 germ layers or 3 germ layers. Animals with 2 germ layers are called diploblastic and animals with 3 germ layers are called as triploblastic. Observe this diagram. Here you can see this is endoderm, inner layer of cells, that is endoderm, and the outer layer of cells, this is ectoderm, and here 2 layers are there, so this is diploblastic organization, and here you can observe 3 layers of cells, that's why it is called triploblastic organization. This is outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and in between the ectoderm and endoderm there is another layer of cells that is called mesoderm. Observe this picture here. This is blastula. What is blastula? After the fertilization process, or that is the fusion of male gamete with the female gamete, zygote is going to be formed. And that zygote undergoes cell division and embryo is going to be formed. During the embryonic development stage, the cells undergoes division and forms a blastula. And this blastula is a hollow sphere of cells surrounding a fluid filled cavity that is called blastocele. And this blastula proceeds in the formation of gastrula stage by passing through the gastrulation process. In the gastrulation process, this blastocele invaginates inwards and results in the rearrangement of cells and forms the germ layers. And those germ layers are ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. And from those germ layers, again it rises into tissues as well as organs of an organism, and this is the important step in the embryonic development. Next, we will see a short video regarding the formation of germ layers. Keenly observe that video. Day 13 to 14, during the embryonic development, these changes will occur. See, this is the formation of the definitive endoderm. Endoderm is the inner layer of the cells. How the cells are rearranging, you can observe here in this video. See, endoderm is formed. Now, how the mesoderm is going to form, just observe. See, this is outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and the inner endoderm. In the next videos, you are going to study about the notochord and what is that, and everything in the later videos you will learn. Just observe now what is that. See, this is the notochord and this is the special feature of the vertebrates. how these layers are responsible for the formation of next the tissues as well as the organs. And next we will see about the body cavity. Every organism has a body cavity called a coelom, which contains the organs. Based on the presence or absence of coelom, these organisms are again classified into coelomates, pseudocoelomates and coelomates, acoelomates. Coelomate, organisms with true body cavity called the coelom. Here true body cavity called coelom. Next is pseudocoelomate. Pseudo means false. Organisms having a false body cavity, and that body cavity is filled with fluid, and these type of organisms are called pseudocoelomates. And the next is acoelomate. Acoelomate means body cavity is absent. This is about body cavity. Next is body symmetry. The correspondence of body parts in size, shape and relative position and opposite sides of a dividing line are distributed around a central point or axis is symmetry. In simple words, we can say that if a line is drawn on an object and it results in the formation of two mirror images. For example, see here, if we draw a line through this plane, we will get two equal mirror images. See, you can observe these two are mirror images to each other, and this is called as symmetry. And there are two types of symmetry. One is radial symmetry and the other one is bilateral symmetry. We will see first the radial symmetry. The radial symmetry means the object or an organism can be divided into two equal halves through any plane. Through any plane. You can see here the organism can be divided into two equal halves along this axis, on this axis or this axis. So, this is called as radial symmetry. And another type of symmetry is bilateral symmetry. And this bilateral symmetry is, the difference between radial and bilateral is, here the organism can be divided into two equal halves through any plane. But here, observe this butterfly picture, the organism can be made into two equal halves only through one plane. Two equal halves, left and right ones, will be the mirror images to each other, and this is called bilateral symmetry. If we observe, our human face is also exhibiting bilateral symmetry because the left and right sides will show the mirror image to each other. Now, you have to learn about the characteristics of kingdom Animalia. Before going to that, you have to remember all these three concepts and you have to apply these three concepts in the next slides. What are those three concepts? Body symmetry, body cavity and germ layers. These three terms you have to remember and you have to apply also. And kingdom Animalia is a very big kingdom and we can't study as such. Again, kingdom Animalia is subdivided into different phyla. Mainly those are 9 phyla. First, Porifera. Next, Coelenterata. Third one is Platyhelminthes. Fourth, Nematoda. Fifth, Annelida. Sixth, Arthropoda. Seventh, Mollusca. Eighth, Echinodermata. Ninth, Chordata. And we have to study the kingdom Animalia under these subdivisions, that is phyla. In the hierarchy of classification also I explained about this different phyla grouped to form a kingdom. Just recall that. Now we will move on to the characteristics of Porifera. The word Porifera means organisms with holes. The special characteristics of poriferans is the organisms are with holes. And these are commonly called sponges. They are found in marine habitat. What is meant by marine habitat? Marine means salt water, seas or oceans. These sponges they live in marine habitat. Non-motile animals with minimal differentiation into tissues. Non-motile. Non-motile means which doesn't show any locomotion. They are attached to a substratum. They are attached to rocks. And they doesn't show tissue grade of organization. If it shows also very minimum level differentiation. Contain pores. This is the special characteristic features of the sponges. Pores means small holes on the whole body and leading to a canal system that helps in circulating the water throughout the body and to bring in food. While bringing that water inside that canal, again this will bring that food also inside the organism. And these animals are covered with skeleton. Example, cycon and sponge. Observe this. These are the different poriferans. Examples of different poriferas. In National Geographic channel, you might have observed all these pictures. See, there will be holes upon the whole body. This is the special characteristic feature of sponges. Next, we will move on to the characteristics of Coelenterata, that is the next phyla in the Animalia kingdom. These are aquatic animals. Aquatic means which live in water. These are radially symmetrical organisms. I already told you have to apply all those three concepts in studying the characteristics of kingdom Animalia. Radially symmetrical, already I explained. And here tissue level of organization is seen. Body cavity is seen with a single opening. And body is made up of two layers, that is inner layer and outer layer. Another name we can give it is diploblastic organisms. Tentacles help in capturing the prey. This is the special feature of coelenterate tentacles. Here you can observe the hair-like structures, and these hair-like structures are called tentacles, and this help in capturing the food. And that is jellyfish. Another examples are hydra, sea anemone. This is hydra and this is sea anemone. And next we will move to the characteristics of the phyla Platyhelminthes. These are commonly called as flatworms. You can observe the pictures here. They are flat. They are appearing flat. That's why these are commonly called as flatworms. Bilaterally symmetrical organisms. Already I explained you what is the bilateral symmetry. They also show tissue level organization. They are triploblastic in nature. Triploblastic means they consist of 3 germ layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm as well as mesoderm. Body is unsegmented and acoelomate. You cannot see the segments on the body. See, this is clear and this is very flat. So there is no segments upon the body, unsegmented and acoelomate. What is an acoelomate? That is, body cavity is absent. Body is flattened dorsiventrally. Dorsi means up. Back side, ventral means front side. So both the sides the body is flattened. That is why body is flattened dorsiventrally. They live either as parasites, example liver fluke. You can see this is the liver fluke. They can live as parasites, and some are free living, that is planaria. Here you can observe this is planaria, either free living or parasites. And next we will see the characteristics of phyla Nematoda. And these organisms are also bilaterally symmetrical. You can see this organism, the symmetry is bilateral. And these are also triploblastic in nature, that is all the 3 germ layers can be present. And tissue level of organization is seen and no real organs are formed, and pseudocoelom is present, that is false body cavity filled with fluid is seen in these organisms. And here also body is cylindrical and unsegmented. You can observe upon the body there are no segments. You cannot observe the segments upon the body like this. There are no segments. Mostly nematodes are parasitic worms. What are parasites? Parasites are the organisms which live inside the host and which take shelter from the host, and again they cause harm to that host. Those are called parasites. Most of the nematodes are parasites. And filarial worm is one of the nematode. It causes elephantiasis disease. Example, roundworms, ascaris, etc. This is ascaris and this is the elephantiasis disease. Whenever the filarial worm enters inside the person, it affects and causes the elephantiasis disease. And this is roundworm. Usually, we can observe these roundworms in small children. They will take shelter in the intestine and causes harm to the person itself. And here is the assignment, home assignment for you. Take down the questions. List the 9 phyla of animal kingdom. Differentiate between Porifera and Coelenterata. Name the phylum where flatworms are included and write the function of tentacles in coelenterates. Hope all you have understood the 4 phyla what we have studied in kingdom Animalia and also the concepts of body cavity, body symmetry as well as the characteristics of different phyla of kingdom Animalia. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.